Good evening. Welcome to our monthly meeting of the East Montgomery County Improvement District's Board of Directors. Today is Monday, October the 10th, 2016, and we always begin with the prayer and the pledge. I'll ask Director Rogers to lead us in the prayer and Director Wetz to lead us in the pledge. So if you'll please stand.
Please stand. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you, Lord, to such humble hearts, ask you to forgive each and every one of our sins. We ask you, Lord, if you would just be with the board tonight, help them make the right decisions that will please them to the community and to the Lord. We ask you, Lord, if you would be with each and every member of the elders, Lord, and be with all of our first responders, Lord, as they out in harm's way each and every day, Lord. And also, Lord, I ask you if you would be with the 2 police officers that was killed in Florida over the past couple of days, Lord, just be with their family and protect each and every one. We ask all in Jesus' precious holy name. Amen.
Amen. Especially American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you.
All right, let's get back to this program.
Okay. The first thing we're going to do tonight is we have some checks to present. And the first one we are going to present, you want to talk about that first?
Yeah, first off is the new McDonald's we have in the district, which is located at the intersection of 59 and North Park. A new business, once again, working with them on picking the right site and being part of our district was very important for our board. And to just kind of give you some ideas, our incentive agreement had the requirement that at least 51% of their employees were hired from within our district. And just so you're aware, for the past 2 years, they've had about 69% of their employees be hired from within our district. So once again, they've exceeded the requirement that we had talked about with them and agreed with McDonald's. And Laura Jo Casey's with us today, and if you'd step over, we'd like to just snap a photo with you and present you a check with your incentive agreement and tell you thank you so much for supporting our community.
And this check that we will be presenting to Laura Jo is for $19,103.07.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Good?
Yeah.
1, 2,
Is that it?
you want 1, 2, 3 next?
Hang on, we got a couple more. Okay. 1 second. This evening is for Back Pew Brewing, which has set up a craft brew operation in our area and has certainly been a welcome member of our community, some travel and tourism opportunities, and some beverage opportunities. So we have Bobby Carl come up. Part of our agreement was to provide $15,000 a year for 3 years for additional employment and once again allowing them to expand and grow in our community. So Bobby, we'll get you to come up front.
No, that covered more than that.
You don't have a beer to put your hand in, do you?
You know, we're working on it. Here soon.
All right. Ready? Thanks, Tara. By request, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Thank y'all, folks. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much. That's yours. Thank you.
Yeah, that helps us out a lot. Thank y'all.
Look forward to the cannon.
Oh, trust me, so are we.
And they are getting a check for $15,000.
Keep it up.
I appreciate it. Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your involvement in our community.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Is there another check?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say I feel truly blessed, and I am very, very thankful for this one. And McDonald's loves the community, and we'll continue to hire the people in the community. The people that we really love in your community are the high school kids. And we really like to take them on and teach them a good work ethic. So we feel that, you know, we're in the people business just like everybody is. That's what we're all here to do, is try and develop people. And we do take those young kids, 16, 17, 18 years old, we really try to teach them to be aggressive, to work hard, to take pride in their job and all those things. We try to move them up also. We only give them a year, maybe 2 years, and then they move on. And so in that time period, I mean, again, we care about them and making a difference in their lives and giving them a good foundation that they can take on to a trade or even move up, you know, McDonald's, whatever. But we'd like to promote to crew trainer, crew leader. And in those positions, they become leaders in the restaurant, and they learn about they basically like managing. And then again, I mean, what you've done for us, we're going to take this money and put it back into training, get some tablets and crew incentives. But I mean, we're trying to do our job, and I think we make a good team.
Absolutely.
And when they go out, they're going to be successful. You know, they're going to get out there and
You're
really
teaching them life skills.
yeah, and we really care
that's
about that. I mean, God has laid that out in my heart
Yes.
and my team, and so we're in there to do the right things.
Thank you
again,
so
it's a
much.
great partnership.
Can I say something about McDonald's? 5 years ago, I had a grandson that was born, and he had to be life flighted to Cook Children's Hospital in Fort Worth. My kids stayed at Ronald McDonald House in Fort Worth for 14 days. I didn't realize what McDonald's did and put back into our community until then.
Yeah.
And we thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Martin.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. So the third business in our community we have with us tonight is La Casita Mexican Restaurant. So if you'd like to come up, we have a incentive check for those guys and some parking lot improvements and other things that are
The only thing y'all need
needed.
is back two beers in there.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Oh, no, we've already
I
talked
brought the
about
whole crew there last
it.
Saturday after a bet last week.
Very good.
And their check is for $12,000. All right. Ready? Yes. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3.
Do it both ways.
We want to thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. We're going to make this go a long way, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I was there Saturday. The parking lot was awesome.
Oh, yeah, we've already started. We've already made 100 yards. You realize how expensive this email was? I'm in the wrong business. Oh, we want to thank you guys. I did promise to lay on some more employees for the community. We've already hired 2 more.
Awesome.
Great.
So I think people wanted that parking lot. I don't know, there's been a 15% increase since last Monday in our business. I don't think it all has to do with the parking lot, but the customers have been telling us we need. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Go a long way. We're gonna use some of this as well for the. We've already started the process of getting inside as well. We're adding 2 tiles to the restaurant. We've done some work on the air conditioning as well. The parking lot, hopefully within the next 7 to 10 days, we should have that done.
Keep up the great
Thank y'all so
job.
much.
Good food.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
That's okay.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is comments from the members of the audience, and there is no one signed up to speak, so we will move on. The next item will be to approve the minutes of the Board of Directors meetings held September 8th at 4:30 p.m., September 8th at 6:30 p.m., and September 26th at 2016. So moved. So thank you. I have a motion by Director Pearson and a second by Director Hessen. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. The next item is the bookkeeping report. Good evening, Ms. Kay.
No. Good evening, everyone. Tonight you do not have a supplemental report. We only had 2 extra checks that have been written, and they will appear on your next report for the next month. But I will go briefly over the report that you have in your folder. If you have any questions, please stop me. If you'll turn over to page 2, you'll see your account balances. In your operating account, you have a total of $7,137,121.23. Capital projects, $95,544.27. The debt service, $196,872.31. In your debt service reserve, $1,036,191.15, and in your events account, $69,672.19, for a total of all funds of $8,935,401.15. And again, that was before those 2 checks were written. The next pages 4 through 12, are the backup for that. Okay, I won't go through each one of those, but if you look through it and you have any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer those for you. Page 13 starts your cash flow. You have a balance forward of $594,803.12. Sorry. You have total receipts of $692,803.94. You have disbursements totaling $842,430.90, and that shows on page 15, leaving $445,176.16 in the general operating fund checking account. Page 16 through 18 is your budget versus actual for the month of September. If there's any questions there. Page 19 is your cash flow for your capital projects fund, and there was no activity there. Total was $473.89, and that account has stayed that way for quite some time. Page 20 is your debt service. You had a balance forward of $319,642.69. You had two transfers that show on this report of $90,000, which is what we transfer each month for your building and your bond payments. Those totaled $180,101 with the interest. Had no other disbursements, leaving $499,743.70 in that debt service checking account. And then in your special events on page 21, balance forward of $39,39.64, receipts of $31,490.91, disbursements totaling $858.36, leaving $69,672.19 in that special events checking account. Page 22 is your sales tax revenue history report, and it wasn't in the report last month. And again, this month we haven't received the sales tax, but this gives you the history from those prior months. If you've got any questions on those, and just in case you were wondering, this is on the accrual basis, so you receive your sales tax 2 months after you earn it, so that's why it's showing. It looks like there's some blank months there, but it's just because you earned it in 2 prior months before. The next pages are your summary of pledged securities, which are all in order. And then your last page is your debt service. You have another debt service payment in February, and it will be an interest-only payment of $271,093.76. That is all of my report. If you have any questions, I can be answered.
Okay, if there's no questions, then I would accept a motion to approve.
Motion to approve it.
Okay. Motion by Director Rogers and a second by Director Wetz. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Thank you, Ted. And we're going to go a little out of order, and we're going to bring up item number 9, the presentation from the architect regarding the proposed building design. Greg, if you want to come on. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to serve East Montgomery County. Did you mind?
Should be on.
Hello, Mark.
There, okay.
That's fine.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to thank all of you for the opportunity to serve East Montgomery County Improvement District. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and we look forward to continuing on and helping you forward with your project here. I know that most of you are familiar with this presentation, so I'll just go through it very quickly. Stop me if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them for you. But whoops, did I press something too hard there? One thing I always like to do when we work on a project is look at the context, what kind of area is the project in, what are some of the characteristics of it, so we always do that to educate ourselves. And whatever information we find, we just like to share with the clients just so that they can see and agree or say, yes or no, this is how we see ourselves. All this is information that you know already, really, because you live here and work here. But I just wanted to quickly show you. This is the Greater Houston Partnership's estimates for population growth in the Greater Houston area. Most of that growth is in the outer ring, or is going to be in the outer ring. This projects out from basically today to the year 2040, growth from 6.5 to 9.5 million people in the metro area. Again, the greatest growth is out here. You all know that because it's happening here. These are just some numbers that I've found about Montgomery County. Now I can separate it out east from west, but still it gives you a good idea of what's going on out here. A lot of growth from 15 years ago, less than 300,000 people. Now up almost 550,000 people, and guesstimating close to 800,000 by 2013. So again, you know all this, a lot of growth, a lot of excitement. And these are some of the major developments that the Houston Business Journal spotlighted in a recent article. And you can see up in the top part of the page there, Valley Ranch and Tavola, am I mispronouncing it again? But a lot, as I said, is going on. We've gone through a process since this summer of meeting with the building committee, which is a few of you, and Frank, and going through a process of listening, gathering information, putting together a projected list of needs, and then reviewing that, massaging it, revising it again, and putting some basic numbers to it. And that's what I'll show you here tonight. So basically the goals for the project, there are two kinds of goals in every project. One are aspirational, which means what you want to accomplish, and the other are functional goals. So the aspirational goals is that we got out of the meetings that we had is that you want this to really reflect your vision for this side of the county. You want it to be a signature project that's a source of pride for everybody. You need it to advance economic development. You want it to reflect the area of growth and progress, and as important as any of the other ones, it should be a development that, in terms of quality, pride, and all other characterizations like that, all other qualities like that, is something that is equal to any other part of the greater Houston area. Functional goals, a timeless design, built to 21st century standards, energy efficient and sustainable design. We're going to look into LEED certification for the project and see if that's a viable economic alternative. But practical design, and one also that takes into consideration the growth in the area here, so that you're not, a few short years down the road, in a bind for space again. Okay, so where is this project? You can see the red box there. That's the site that's been designated by the developer and that you've had discussions with the developer about. An optimal size is about 5 acres, which would cover or include the building, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a second here, and parking for about 350 spaces. That's surface parking. That parking is supplemented by the future parking garage, which you can see to the north of the red site, which is yours. 5 acres optimal. There'd be a 2-story building. 2-story, could be 3, but certainly at a minimum it's going to be a 2-story building. A drop-off, a covered entry drop-off, and a maintenance structure. And the footprint's about 55,000 square feet. Again, on the property, 350 parking spaces, some nice quality landscaping. You're very fortunate being in a planned development, no easements that impinge on your what you do on the site, and also no on-site stormwater detention. There's regional detention, so you don't have to eat up a lot of your property for that. The building, about 79,000 square feet. The number makes it look more exact than we really know at this point, but we use a spreadsheet, and when everything calculates out, that's the number we come to, but 79,000 square feet. On the ground floor, we'll have 3, as a matter of fact, that might be a little bit too hard to read. On the ground floor, we have 3 principal components. We have all the community event spaces. Okay, boardroom, the main gathering hall out here, the training room, which will be 3 times larger than what you have now. Instead of a space out here which seats, I think, about 250, it'll be 500 people roughly, if memory serves me. I have that in my notes. in your main atrium space out here. So we're planning for growth and looking ahead as we design, before we design the project in terms of the program. And of course, Lone Star College will be on the ground floor and the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce will be the greeting people for the entire facility. Upstairs, we'll have EMCID's administrative space, maintenance and facilities offices, space for nonprofits, the Small Business Development Center, youth services, and also, what you don't have here now, but will be in a new building, are offices for the state representatives and your state senator, so that they'll have a local office so that they can keep in touch with them, and more important, you can keep in touch, so that they can keep in touch with you, and more important, so that you can keep in touch with them. And other support spaces, computer server, things like that. This is a diagram that shows, it's a little bit tough to see, but you can get a general sense of the sizes of the spaces here. On the bottom half, that's what's on the ground floor. The top half is what's on the upper floor. The left side is what you have now. And the right side is what you will have. Each little box is 100 square feet of space. So you can see the brown on the bottom half, those are the community event spaces. The yellow is Lone Star, and the purple is the Chamber of Commerce. So again, we're looking ahead, accommodating your growth, and making sure that we have adequate facilities for all the variety.
I just wanted to point out it may or may not be Lone Star per se, certainly the ALL program and some other things, but in general, any educational higher ed entity or training entity.
Correct. Thanks, Kathy. On the second floor, you can see the top side, the uppermost boxes, sort of the light beige, are the EMCID offices. So proportionately, actually not quite to the multiple that the other spaces grow. EMCID administrative facilities need to grow too. The the orange right underneath that is the maintenance. The light blue is the nonprofits. The Small Business Development Center, actually it's the only thing that stays the same. And then you can see underneath that are the youth, youth services, pretty much the same too. And then you can see the blue is the state reps and the state senator, and then the gray are the various support services. Now, factored in all of this is the proportionate share of what we call the building common areas, your structure, your mechanical rooms, toilet rooms, corridors, all that. That's all spread throughout this instead of showing it separately. Okay, so construction. What are we looking at? For the building and site, we have a little bit shy of $15 million in the budget that was run. We had some good comps, so we're fairly confident with these numbers. These are all in 2016. Bless you. These are all in 2016 dollars. Owner items, those are things, in addition to construction, there are going to be things that you as an owner have to provide in a building: furniture, landscaping, and other kinds of things. There are separate contracts, sound systems and things like that. So that's another $1.5 million. Then there are soft costs, which would be architect, engineering, and other consulting fees, surveys. You're going to have materials testing. You're going to have soils testing, and other kinds of testing like that. And then there are other miscellaneous costs too. That's about 1.2. And then we always recommend owner contingency at this stage of the game, so that you have some sufficient amount of contingency funds available for your planning. So altogether, that number adds up to about $19.25 million. So that's what we have recommended for a total budget. What's not included in that is land acquisition, the parking garage, any costs associated with that, financing costs, other administrative costs. For instance, if you hire somebody to work specifically on a project or other kinds of, there are not always, but there could be some additional administrative costs. And of course, inflation, since we're using 2016 dollars. So just to mark the checks off at the end, so we looked at those goals at the beginning, and we're at the program stage now. No design has been done. And so, again, what I hope I was able to communicate in these slides is that the building will reflect the growth and the progress in this area by planning for the future. It'll advance the economic development of the area by having the facilities needed here in terms of Small Business Development Center, Chamber of Commerce, everything that's here that's needed to promote the area for future economic development. And again, we have room in there to consider and accommodate the future growth of this area. So with that, any questions?
Martin, did you have a question for him?
Yeah, I was just wondering what, back towards the beginning, it said LEED option. What was that?
LEED, that stands for Leadership in Environmental and Energy Design. And what that is it's a certification process that's used in buildings to designate them and certify that they've met certain requirements for what's called sustainability. So they're basically, you're proving that you're designing and building something that is to last a long time and to be easy on the environment and easy on the resources.
Is that usually something, does that usually come up?
It comes up a lot these days, yes. And it's something, what we typically, we design our buildings so that they could meet the standards regardless of whether you actually go through the certification or not. To meet the standards as much as your budget will allow. And what we do early on in the project is we'll do an assessment of how much it would cost to get a certification, and then you decide if you want to proceed with it.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
Okay. I have a copy of this if anybody would like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That was a great presentation. Thank you.
I have a question. Do you know how long it'll be to build this once it's started?
I'm sorry?
Do you happen to know how long it will take to build it once it's started?
The design process is about 6 months, and I would say construction is probably, depending on what is provided on the site, 12 to 18 months or something like that.
Wow.
So Madam Chair, when we do our open forum or listening session, it would be nice to have some of these visuals. I really like the one.
I believe you'll be there for on the 24th.
Yes, I'll be there on the 24th. I have a question about that. How should I dress?
Just fine.
Do I need to wear this?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
You can come casual.
Okay.
You want to be casual, yeah.
I don't do this too often.
Yeah.
I thought we were in the boardroom.
Anybody else have anything?
I got a question. When this building was built, the architect kind of acted as the general. That didn't work out real good. Is there fees in this for that?
We have, part of our typical basic services is construction contract administration, but that doesn't mean that we act as the general. You would still have a general contract.
Maybe I said wrong terminology. He was here making sure that the contractors went by the architect's design.
Oh, yeah. We'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really not the general.
Yeah, we're not the general, but we're your watchdog.
Anybody else have anything? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on, our next item is the report for the implementation of the Constable Patrol Security Program at the shopping center in the district during the holiday season.
And if you guys will flip to tab number 4 in your binder. In our budget this year, we had allocated $50,000 for the shopping program. And the past few weeks, I got together with Barry and Rowdy, and they came up with a budget in regards to how they're going to allocate that funding throughout the shopping holiday. And this will begin on October the 15th and go through the end of January. So just so you know the dates that's incorporated into that. And just want to make sure you guys have the schedule. It also reflects the 4 main patrol areas. Not that they're only going to be in there, but these are kind of the 4 main retail nodes that we have in the district that they patrolled in the past, with the new one being over in Valley Ranch. And again, they've already been over there and have found some things going on that they need to have a presence there. And, you know, high school kids after the games deciding they want to go shopping at Kroger's, and we all know Kroger's isn't open yet. So in any event, it's good for them to have a presence there with retailers opening. And with the 4 areas identified, they'll be in other areas in the district as well. But these are the main concerns that we have for retail over the holidays. But just want to give you guys a schedule so you can kind of see what's going on during those times. And it's allocated in our budget. Just want to make sure that you guys have kind of a copy of this so you can be aware of what's going on. Okay?
Was there an increase from last year because of the Valley Ranch, or no? It doesn't look like it.
No, not really. I think we had some funds that were left over from last year, and I think they'd approached us about using the balance to buy a couple of bicycles.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We used the balance of what they had left over last year to buy a couple of bicycles. And, you know, it gives them a little more mobility in the parking lots. And, I mean, I see Barry out there all the time. And I think he lives on a bicycle. I'm not sure, but he's out there all the time. And, but anyway, that's kind of their mode is what they're be patrolling those areas, and they're going to get started here in the next week.
So you need a motion, and this totals 50,000?
We don't need a motion on this. It's already been approved in the budget. I just want to, you know, kind of give you guys a report in regards to the program is starting next week, and it's going to go through January 31st. And also let you know the 4 main commercial nodes that have been identified with the program. So just want to make sure y'all are aware it's about to start. So when you see them out there, we'll start getting some invoices, you know, in the next couple of weeks on the time that they spend on the project. Okay.
Any other questions?
Frank, what is that hour, I mean, the dates from the 15th to the 31st? Does that mean they're only going to do that area during that time span?
Just for the end of October.
It's just October.
Yeah, if you go all the way down the list, you'll see each month is broken out.
I got it.
Got it? Okay. Yeah, but it's continuing. It's starting October 15th, and it goes all the way through January 31st.
Which is this Saturday. It'll begin this Saturday.
You gonna be doing this 7 days a week?
Yes.
Yes.
Night and day, it's gonna just been whenever.
Well, they got that number of hours, yes. They're there. I mean,
Well, I know they're there.
Again, it's a situation, we wouldn't want to disclose when they're there and when they're not there. You know, again, if someone's tuning in, they're gonna say, well, guess what, they're not there at this time. We don't want someone to know when they're there and when they're not there. So, you know, again, that's nothing we would want to say in public, but they're out there, so watch out for them. I think that's how we want to reflect that.
Well, they've already started, to tell you the truth, but I've seen them in the stores, and I know who they are until I know they're there.
Yeah.
But they're dressed in plain clothes. Okay.
All right, then moving on, the next item is approval of the proposal from the Population and Survey Analyst relative to the preparation of the demographic update for Splendora ISD.
And you'll have a copy of the proposal in front of you in your supplements. This is it. So, again, this is a kind of a routine we go through every 3 to 4 years with the school districts. We just finished up the final invoice with Duke County ISD in regards to their demographic analysis. And this is the same group, PASA, which does a very good job, and I've worked with both of our school districts as long as I can remember. And Dr. Guzman does a very thorough job, and most importantly, we get a copy of that when they're finished, and we utilize some of that information in providing that information to retailers and manufacturers and other companies that want to look at moving to the district. So we utilize our own demographic information in addition to this type of demographic information to create a very positive profile on our community in the way that it's growing for projects to locate to our district. So once again, typically we will split this cost with the school district, and that's what we propose to do again if you all are comfortable with that. And it's a tremendous benefit for us and the school district both to use in planning.
Do you need a motion then?
Yes.
So
Wow, everybody seconds, that's awesome. So we have a motion by Director Pearson, and I heard a second by Director Wentz. Was that correct? Okay. And is there any discussion?
This $49,880, is that the total or is that our cost?
That's the total, Leonard, and we'll split that with them. In addition, at the back, you'll see there's some other soft costs that may be built in that they can bill for, but typically, you know, our reimbursement is normally around $25,000 to $30,000 by the time that they're done, just to kind of give you a pretty good feel. And there are some soft costs associated with it, but that's what they're proposing to do at this point.
I've worked with them for over 20 years. I remember when we did this with Splendora more than 20 years ago, and they are excellent. Whatever information they have not only will help us, but it'd be nice if we had even some preliminary for the projections for just the EMCID area between Splendora and New Caney, even for showing that to the public.
And we were in Dallas this past week, and this information would have come in handy, updated information on some of the developers who are asking these particular questions. So this is a great thing. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Yes, Martha?
I'll make a motion.
Oh, we've already got it.
Oh, you did?
Yes. All right, is there all in favor of approving? It's unanimous, thank you. Okay, the next item is any announcements? Anybody have any announcements?
I would like to announce that I went to the football game, told Frank about it in Splendora, and the sign that they put up is a real nice sign. I kind of feel, personally, it's my opinion, that we got to kind of short end of the stick on our part. One thing, the thing is kind of hard to read, you know, where they're supposed to be the improvement district sign. And I didn't see them doing an announcement during that time. They're supposed to do, what, a minute, right?
Yeah, and again, I think I talked to you that earlier, Mark. We weren't going to be ready for last week, but we're going to provide some information for this upcoming weekend. So we weren't ready for last week.
Just letting them know what I said.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And Martin's right, it's almost such a big sign that where you see the improvement district above us. I tell you what it is, Martin, the contrast coming out of the screen is so bright, you look for the improvement district across the top of that and it kind of gets lost.
Yeah.
And we all agreed on that, and I think the Coach Schultz has sent it back to Spectrum. I think they're gonna figure out how to illuminate that center panel.
I didn't know if maybe it
Because
was just temporary or what.
Well, I think they got it up quickly, but after they turn the lights on, after they turn that monitor on, it's so bright that the actual sign above it, it really is dark. And so they're gonna figure out some way to illuminate that, because it kind of gets lost. It just, the eye just doesn't quite.
But other than that, man, it's a nice time, you know, if y'all haven't seen it.
Anybody else have any other announcements?
Yeah, a couple other things, just East Montgomery County Scholarship Foundation, the gala dinner is November the 1st. So I just want to make sure you've got that on your calendars and are aware that's coming up. And then secondly, with our grant process, we want to go ahead and set a workshop for the 2nd of November, that evening. And once again, the normal process we go through is they're reviewed, and then they come to the board in the November meeting, they're approved in November, and then they're funded in December. So we want to make sure we have a workshop before we have our meeting in November for those decisions on the grants. So workshop, we'd like to do the evening of the 2nd at 6:30 and kind of go through all the grant applications with you guys.
Any other announcements? All right.
One more.
Yes.
For all of y'all that didn't know, or that I haven't told, I got cleared my cancer Friday,
is gone.
Amen.
Good news for all of us.
It is very good news. Okay, we will recess to executive session to discuss real property matters pursuant to section 551.072 Texas Government Code, pending or contemplated litigation pursuant to section 551.071 Texas Government Code, matters in which the duty of the attorney to the district under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflict with chapter 551 Texas Government Code pursuant to section 551.071 Texas Government Code and economic development negotiations pursuant to section 551.087 Texas Government Code. And we are in recess. 7:14. Okay, all right, we are back. Our next item is to update on the status of the development of the acres 12.85 acre site.
Nothing to report there.
Okay. The next item is the reports on the activities in the industrial park. And I'll just let you talk about all of yours, A through to where it ends.
Can you talk louder than out there?
How's that? That better?
Good.
I can hear you, Joe.
All right, the first item is the status of the sale of dirt. We hadn't sold anything. Still talking with E-Controls, and you've got another guy that's gonna come in and probably need some dirt, the custom car maker,
New Candy Customs, yeah.
Candy Custom. So we'll keep you updated on it. We sell. The next item is the status of the Quad-West Road contract. We're still on schedule to start about mid-October once the ditch is done, and they're actually finishing up the ditch now and putting in the final grades. So he's a couple weeks away, and he'll get started. The next item is the approval of the contract for the water and sanitary sewer for section 4. I have a copy of the contract. Frank's got the rest of them upstairs to sign. We do have the 1295 attached in here. That we actually had before the last meeting. My office failed to tell me, but we do have it in here now. And we sent the contract to David. He's gonna confirm that the bonds and insurance are okay with Clearwater. So I guess what I'm gonna ask you to do is to approve it subject to the bonds and insurance being on it. I'm sorry? What was the low bid? It was with Clearwater, which I reported last month, with Bev and others. $721,522. And we have dealt with Clearwater in the past. I think I told you all this last month when I thought it was going to be approved. They're a good contractor. We haven't had any problems with them, so we recommend them to you.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the contract pending David's approval going through the contract. Okay. I've got a motion from Director Wetz and a second from Director Del Martin. Any discussion?
Which item we're on?
Number C, 10C,
See,
And the name of the company, Clearwater?
Clearwater.
Clearwater Construction.
How much was the contract for?
721,522.
That's underground utilities for section 4.
Is that different from the 792,909?
721,522.65.
Captain Hunter, what's your question?
722,5565?
522.65.
0.65.
Had it down right first time.
Okay, because last month it was 792,909, so they
You know,
dropped down.
It was Angel Brothers.
Angel Brothers.
Oh, that's section
paid
4, sorry. Yeah.
So that was a different area? That was the construction of water and sanitary?
One I want to talk about in a minute for the paving, and we're going to defer that one because Frank's still trying to talk to the commissioner. And let me look at their bid. I was looking at their bond, what their bond bid for. 21-522-65. It's the amount of the contract.
And Clearwater.
I don't have the board letter attached to the minutes, but the minutes have the same amount of volumes. So want me to correct that?
Yes,
last
yes,
one?
yes, I'm going to flag that.
No, I was just saying that everything.
Okay. So is there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the contract? Unanimous, thank you. Okay, carry on.
Okay, section 4, it was with, Angel Brothers was a little better, but we're gonna ask you to defer it because we're still talking to the county, maybe doing some split costs and stuff. So we can hold it until next meeting, you know, the contract we built in time to hold it, so that's no problem. Section 3 and 4 plat, it's kind of a moving target. Every time we get ready to submit it, we get another, cut out 15 acres here, you know, and I hate to submit it till we get at least a little bit further, where we know what it's gonna be. We may just have to do them in reserves. We'll just go ahead and get it done. But it's essentially done. We've got everything done, it's just moving those lines. The next one is the Quad West Lift Station. They're about 75% complete. We did get a payment request from them, and I'll pass it out. Payment request was in the amount of $36,776.75. We were withholding 10% payment on out of $15,697.50.
I can read it now. Oh, on it. Thank you. Sorry.
So we're gonna recommend that you pay them. We've had a few issues, but nothing that can't be resolved with them. It's mainly on the grading out there, and we're working with them. It's no different than any other contractor issues that pop up from down there.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the payment? Is that correct? Okay, all right, so we would need a motion. Okay, a motion by Director Zepeda.
Second.
And a second by Director Martin. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Okay, G is the status of the contract for water distribution and wastewater with Quad West. We did not receive the pay application. They are 99% done. We were testing today. It should be finished this week. Testing, everything passes. I think, it should hold. What they do in testing is pump up the water line to 150 for 8 hours, and pump up the sewer line with air, and it has to hold air for a certain amount of time. So it should be done this week.
Okay.
And we'll give you that. They'll probably finalize it next month. And next item is H, which is the sign on 1485. It's complete. We've got the lights, electrical located, so we went ahead and paid them. They came out and showed us, and, it was there. It was just hidden inside the sign, and we couldn't get to it. And to get to it, we have not hooked up the lights. We're waiting on Energy to drop the service to us. I think it's cleaned up underneath it now. So what we're gonna do is try to get rid of that old chain link fence out there. We talked to the landowner, they're fine, whatever you wanna do. And probably put a wood fence around the bottom of it. And I wanna get with Frank, and we're gonna have to look at how high we're gonna make it. So everything's done. So they've been paid, so everybody likes to sign, just gotta get lights on.
So can some of this go off the agenda?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that one go up, we're done. You done reporting on national?
Still not happy about that garage thing in front of it.
I couldn't tear it down.
That's a lot.
The next one is,
Okay.
which is a instructional range, well, I'm sorry. Next one is generalistics. We issued plans, we've had 4 people pick up. We've had several other ones we know are interested that have looked in the plan room and have contacted us. We had a pre-bid last week, and 4 people showed up for the pickup plans. And somebody pointed out that in the wage rate determinations that you approved, there was no wage rates for interior building stuff, which we never get involved in. I didn't know it. So we contacted David. He's put together another wage rate that includes the stuff, and it's item number 11. So what we did was issue an addendum, or we will issue an addendum in the morning if you approve this, and we'll open bids on the 13th. And that gives them 3 days. I mean, everybody's going to be above the wage rate. We know it's low, but we have to do that to be legal. So we did have a few other questions, but nothing major like thickness of the pavement, which is on the plans, but Scott pointed out to them. Things, minor stuff, but everybody looking at the building real hard. So hopefully you'll get a good bid.
So we need to go ahead and take a motion to approve the wage withholding, item number 11.
Yeah,
So,
yes,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, I've got a motion by Director Pearson and a second by Director Hessen on item number 11. Any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
No, the range is still on hold till we get the building. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And that'll be coming up.
Thank you, Joe. All right, so you want to do the rest of number 10?
Yeah, I can do that. Item I, as y'all are aware, we funded that incentive agreement this evening with EMCID, and they were here to receive that check and have already started the construction and remodeling of the parking lot. That hole that's been there for, I don't know how many years that I hit every time. So, it might be gone now. It'll be a nice change. So, very nice. So we presented that check this evening in Waukesha. We also this evening, on item J, we followed through with our incentive agreement with Backview Brewing and presented them their incentive check for them to continue to grow and expand and continue to be involved in our community. So that item is also completed. So we can take both of those off the agenda next month, David. So I and J can come off. We're done with those. And item M, just to update in regards to Dunn Welding, they're looking at extending the time they need to analyze their business as far as what their needs would be if they'd like to relocate to the district. And they're taking some more time before they make their decision if that's what they'd like to do. On item N, in regards to the purchase and sale agreement with New Caney Customs LLC, once again, he's received his real estate contract and is in the process of looking at securing his financing on doing the building and the land and rolling that whole project together. And he should be approaching our Economic Development Corporation on some funding to begin the construction and site development for his project. So that's all I've got to report on those items within the district.
Okay. All right, then the next item will be the update on the splash pad in the city of Splendora.
And if you look up on the screen, you'll see what has been done thus far. And not that I got out my Speedo or Leonard didn't get out his Speedo to try it out or anything, but you can see some of the amenities that have been put in place. It's still got a spray coating that needs to be put on the surface. And one of the items that we'll be going back and visiting with the contractor is I do not like the chain link fence appearance around the structure in the back. And we want to look at incorporating some other modifications back there. I think we can do better than a chain link fence if we're involved in a project. So, but that kind of gives you some ideas of some of the stuff that's there and some of the amenities that's on the pad.
You talking about that chain link? Fence that we see right there, you talking about the one in the agreement in the front?
The one you're looking at right there. See that building?
That's the recycle.
Oh,
See that building? Yeah, we can do better than that.
That's the recycle equipment.
That's how it's supposed to be, that's what they think it's supposed to be.
Well, again, that's going to be a discussion we're going to have. I don't think that's adequate. So we're going to go back and have that discussion that we can do better than that.
It was like a spring break holding cell.
Well, I want to tell y'all something, in Dallas.
Oh, maybe it's just temporary.
Maybe so. In Dallas, I had a conversation with the executive director of the economic development in Gonzales, Texas, and she didn't know what a splash pad was. And I showed her our layout that we had there at the show. She took pictures of it to take back to her board. She was very impressed with what we do and loved the splash pad.
That back fence, is that what, is that already?
That's
That's
the smart fence.
Josie gonna be ready? We ain't gonna be using this year very much, are we?
I must have warmed up. It's pretty cool right now. But, you know, I can't tell you, they've got a lot of cleanup to do out there. Leonard, we're not gonna let them go, like, look around the edge. They have to fill all that. I mean, you can't leave it like that. You can't, you know, there's still some cleanup they've got to do, plus the building
Yeah.
and things. So I'd say they're a good 2-3 weeks away.
Yeah.
It still looks good.
Yeah, that's real good, but they didn't get the building at the time they said they did.
They must have.
Do you think they put that fence around that thing to keep down the feed?
I'm not gonna.
The fences have been around.
I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. I think it's cooling.
Yeah, it's for ventilation, but
Recycle equipment.
we can.
But they can do better.
Yeah, I agree.
Fence in there, solid.
You know, part of our name is improvement district. You know, we can do better than that. So I mean, that's my perspective. We can do better than a chain link fence. I'm sorry. That's why we're here. So that's what we're going to be discussing with them and then just kind of finishing everything up. So we're close. We're close to being done, but not quite.
Well, they're gonna say that's because it's Lindor, but nonetheless, need better than that.
Yeah.
Well, I know Splendor is pretty bad neighborhood, but I mean, you can't, we know that wouldn't be allowed, but Splendor, we might get by with.
Is there anything else on Splendora, Joe, or is that?
That's it.
Okay, so you want to just lead on into the Roman Forest?
Yeah, Roman Forest, we've had some discussions with Craftsman. They came back and said that the easement is not adequate. They have to have a little more easement. We redrew it. We sent it to them. We're supposed to get written confirmation from them that this easement's good. And what we'll do is, once I get that confirmation, we'll package it up, give it to David. David will rewrite the document agreement, and we'll go to Roman Forest and them to approve it. I mean, they shouldn't have much of a problem doing that. So once that's done, then he said he can finish his plans. He has to submit a full set of plans to Roman Forest for approval, and which hopefully will be quick.
So Roman Forest ain't, y'all ain't got anything done.
Haven't started anything.
And when they took so long on this one, they wasn't nowhere working. I thought they was over working.
Anybody have any other questions for Joe regarding these? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go fishing.
Okay, the next item is regarding the grant request for the governor's office.
And just so you know, in regards to that grant request, we've had our first session for business owners in the district, and we had several attendees, including La Casita and Back Pew Brewing. And actually, that was good to put them together to get to know each other And I think in the future, we're going to see some back pew brewing products in La Casita. So once again, putting those companies together, in touch with each other, and understanding what each of those do was a very good beginning and a very good success story for starting out with those business success sessions. So we have 2 more coming up, and the next one will be toward the end of October. It's the 25th, 6th, 25th. Next one will be the 25th, and we'll continue to work that program and grow some other small businesses in the district.
Okay. The next item is a presentation by North Park Mobility Steering Committee, Tiers 10 of the City of Houston regarding proposed traffic improvements on North Park Drive.
And he actually had to be out of town for this meeting, and we will include this on our agenda for the November meeting.
Okay. All right. The last item is matters for possible placement on future agendas.
I was noticing on the number 10, it talks about activities inside the industrial park. We have, maybe it's by mistake or whatever, but we got La Casita and Backview Brewing underneath number 10. Is that
And it was
wrong?
for the status, well, those are over now. It was just to update the status of their,
It just says consider activities within the industrial park under 10.
Right, those should have been.
Yeah, they should have been outside of there. So one other item we talked about in regards to our grant workshop earlier. How does, and maybe moving that around, some of y'all had mentioned maybe the second wasn't such a good time to do that. Would, maybe if we look at the 3rd, maybe at lunchtime on the 3rd, would that work better to get more of you there?
I'm out of town from the 2nd through the 4th.
Okay.
I'm out of town from the 28th through the 4th.
Okay.
Well, I'm in town through that, so.
Well, would you guys want to look at the week of, you want to, I mean, I tried to keep it a little bit earlier for you, away from the board meeting, so if you have any questions, would you want to look at like the Monday before the board meeting?
31st, that's Halloween, okay.
No, I'm like at the 7th. The evening of the lunchtime or evening of the 7th?
I can do lunch or evening.
Lunchtime on the 7th, would that?
I can't, and you can't either, that's the Lake Houston area, oh, you're not on that, the Lake Houston Area Planning Council.
But the evening of the 7th. Evening of the 7th.
Evening of the 7th.
Grant schedule.
What's on the evening of the 7th? We got a board meeting on the 7th?
No, I'm asking if you guys can attend a workshop to review the grants.
So what day is that?
That's Monday evening. Okay, you want to go back and,
Well, either way, people are going to do this.
okay.
How many people can't be here on the 3rd? Just 2?
Can't be here.
The 3rd at just 2? Let's say the 3rd at 12 o'clock, is that good?
We'll inform them.
Okay, we'll say the 3rd at 12 o'clock. All right?
and what we can do, if it's possible, is get copies of the grant information to both of them, so that if they have any questions,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
can
we can do
provide us
that.
with the
Okay.
questions. Okay.
So the 3rd at 12 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to.
You guys be nice to Stan, he's a good guy.
No, Catherine, he won't be at that meeting. That's just a workshop for grants. He will be at our regularly scheduled meeting in November, okay? So I have him plugged in for that. Okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then we will adjourn. 8:50.